Welcome to Arsenal Kids Podcast.
Hello and welcome to Arsenal Kids Podcast. My name is Madi and I'm joined by my co-host Ben. And it's great to have you join us for this episode.
Yes, hello listeners. Hello Maddie and welcome to episode number 151.
Thanks Ben. And what are we talking about in Arsenal Kids Podcast this time?
Well Maddie, in part one, let's take a look at the men's team who are back into Premier League action at the Emirates on the weekend.
Where they drew 2-2 with Liverpool, and then in part two,
let's take a look at some club news, including a nomination for Women's Super League Goal of the Month and also some changes in our academy coaching ranks.
Sounds like a great idea.
It does. And then next episode, we're going to be looking at our women's team players who are on international duty before they return for the weekend. But a quick reminder, we would love for you to help us to grow our Arsenal Kids community. So please continue to share our podcast with others.
We would love for you to join us on this venture together.
We would indeed. And Maddie, the men's team manager, Mikel Arteta, would have been very pleased that Bukayo Saka and Jurrien Timber were able to return to the starting lineup, especially as we're still without Martin Odegaard and Ricardo Calafiore, who are both injured. And remember that William Saliba was suspended for this game following his red card against Bournemouth.
And the game started with the playing of the last post.
And that was to mark the forthcoming Remembrance Day. And it meant that the game kicked off in a crackling Emirates Stadium atmosphere, and those decibel levels were boosted even more inside the opening 10 minutes as Ben White, who was partnering Big Gabby in the centre of defence, was given too much time on the ball in our own half, and he played what was a wonderful pass into the path of Bukayo Saka, who had perfectly timed his run on the white ring. Saka, he raced into the area, took a superb first touch, chopped the ball onto his left foot, completely deceiving the defender who had no clue what was going on. And then Saka smashed the ball home into the net inside the near post, making it 1-0 to the Arsenal.
What a way for him to get his 50th Premier League goal.
It truly was a thing of beauty, and Saka is now the 11th Arsenal player to reach that landmark in the Premier League and the 7th youngest for any club.
Not too bad for a winger at all.
Not too bad for a winger, a position, Maddie, that you also like to play. But unfortunately, that lead was soon wiped out as Virgil van Dijk stole in at a corner and headed the ball in from close range after it was flicked on at the near post, making it 1-1. We looked then to bounce back, and both Saka and Gabriel Martinelli were full on running on the wings. Merino had a good chance on target after a Declan Rice free kick, but he couldn't keep his attempt on target this time. Saka then shot over the bar from 20 yards following another driving run, and a cross from Martinelli also fell to Kai Havertz, but he couldn't sort his feet out in time as the ball came to him almost unexpectedly.
We then had a shout for a penalty.
Yes, as Martinelli went down following a clumsy challenge from the defender where he didn't seem to touch the ball, but somehow it wasn't given. But it seemed like a second goal for us was on the cards, and before the half ended, Merino duly delivered the goal after another Rice set-piece delivery, and the inviting free kick from the right was powerfully met by our Spanish midfielder, who celebrated his first Gunners goal without breaking stride. They then took an age to confirm it with the video assistant referee after a possible offside, but it meant after it was cleared that Merino got to celebrate again as we went into that halftime break 2-1.
Then we had more injury trouble.
Early in the second half, following a knock to his knee from an attacker, big Gabriel Magalhaes had to be withdrawn. He was replaced by Jakub Kivior, and our back four had an unfamiliar look for the final 35 minutes. And the substitution unfortunately shifted the momentum to the visitors as we came under pressure. Then it was Jurrien Timber who was forced from the field after some sort of injury concern, and he was replaced by Miles Lewis-Skelly.
Then in the final 10 minutes, the pressure told.
It did. After we lost the ball up front by Martinelli, Mo Salah was given to finish an easy goal for Liverpool, and that drew the game level at 2-2. We then had a chance as the game entered into added time with Gabriel Jesus, who had come onto the field, bundling the ball into the net. But the referee, who was perhaps a little too whistle happy, gave a free kick against Kivia, who apparently had fouled in the build-up. And as the whistle went prior to the goal going in, it meant that it couldn't be reviewed by VAR, and the Gunners had to settle for a point, which keeps us in third place on the Premier League table.
And next up for the team, Ben?
Next up, Maddie, we're into cup action midweek as we head away from home, where all of our next four games happen to be. This time we're in the Carabao Cup fourth round, where we're going to be facing Preston North End in order to progress through the competition.
Okay, well, let's leave it there for part one. We will be right back after this with part number 2. Welcome back, Ben. And Ben, we have someone nominated for the Women's Super League goal of the month.
We do, Maddie, and it's none other than our Australian Caitlin Ford, whose solo effort has been shortlisted for the award. If you don't remember the goal from our Emirates Stadium fixture, our Australian winger received the ball from Emily Fox by the corner flag before attacking the goal. With just the defender in front of her, she outwitted them with quick footwork before curling the ball past the goalkeeper from an almost impossible angle, which is why no doubt she is in line for this award.
And we will let you know if she wins.
Of course we will.
And into other news, and one of the academy coaches has left the club.
And not just any old academy coach, but our under-18s head coach and former Gunners midfielder Jack Wilshere, who had an immediate impact on the youngsters as in his first full season in charge, he led them to the FA Youth Cup final. Since returning to the club, Jack, who himself developed through our academy before making 197 appearances for the Gunners, has been an influential figure for our young players at what is a crucial stage of their careers. He is now leaving to go to Norwich City, where he's going to be their first team coach.
And he received some good words from another former player and now academy manager.
Yes, Per Mertesacker said that Jack's development as a coach has been really impressive. And he's also represented Arsenal in the best possible way, both as a player, as we know, but also in his role as an academy coach. Per also said that Jack has not only been a role model for our younger generation on the pitch, showing the young players the skills required at the highest level, but he's also demonstrated every day how to be the best possible person.
Some of the great lessons for our youngsters to learn.
Indeed, Maddie, and we can also announce that there is a replacement for Jack. Well, maybe not a replacement, but someone who's going to fill that role of the under-18s head coach, and that is Adam Birchall, who has been appointed to that role.
Adam has played a key role in the academy since he joined 2 years ago.
Yeah, he's going to be stepping up from his role as assistant coach for this role, and he has quite a lot of experience. He was also a scholar of our academy all the way back in the 01-02 season, and he went on to enjoy a respected playing career before rejoining the club as a coach.
And how did he go in the first game in charge, Ben?
Well, Maddie, it was not so great, unfortunately, as the under-18s. They went down 3-2 against Norwich City after surrendering what they had, which was a 2-goal lead. But that's okay. It's not always about results. We know that. It's about teaching these youngsters how to do things the Arsenal way. And that might take a little while on the training pitch as Adam implements his vision for the team over the coming weeks. But best of luck to Adam and the whole under-18 team for the future.
Okay, well, let's wrap it up for this episode. Thanks again for joining us at Arsenal Kids Podcast.
Before we sign off, we want to express our gratitude for your continued support. So if you haven't already, follow, like, and subscribe so you don't miss us in the future. Remember, it's your love for the beautiful game that fuels our passion.
We would love for you to spread the word about Arsenal Kids Podcast.
Yes, please share our podcast with other Arsenal kids you know and help us to grow this amazing community together.
We hope to join you back on the pitch again soon.
Keep the spirit of the game alive, and until next time,
Goodbye.